Hi everyone, my name is Erin Vogt. I'm here from George Washington University, we call GW, from the School of Engineering and Applied Science. So I am here today to talk to you about our graduate programs in engineering and computer science. Next slide. Just some quick facts about GW. If you're already familiar, you might know that we are located in the capital city, Washington, D.C. We're located right in the downtown D.C. area, so very close to the White House, to the World Bank, to the IMF, and a lot of other organizations that are located in Washington. We have about 25,000 students, so we are a large city campus. About 15,000 of those are graduate students. So this makes GW a little bit unique because many universities in the US, they have more undergraduate students than graduate students. But GW really has a strong graduate population and a strong graduate focus. There are 3 campuses. I just mentioned this briefly because all of the programs that we'll talk about today and any programs that you would join as a student at GWCs, they're located in the Washington, D.C. campus. The main campus in Foggy Bottom is the neighborhood. Next slide. So specifically talking about the School of Engineering and Applied Science, we have 6 academic departments with 12 different fields of study, more than 90 faculty members, and $20 million and counting of research spending. So this research spending I think is important to you as a potential graduate student because this is funding the opportunities that you will have to do research and get involved in projects at laboratories during your time with us at GW. Next slide. So this building is our Science and Engineering Hall. Because you can't come to us in Washington right now, of course, and see the campus, I just want to show you some images. This building was built in 2015, so it's a pretty new building for us, and this is housing all of those laboratories, research centers, all of your classes, or I should say most of your classes as a science and engineering student. This has particularly a lot of our offices and research facilities, so we have things like a high bay with a strong wall and strong floor. These are for research opportunities. For example, our civil engineering department is frequently having projects in our high bay that students are certainly very involved with as well. Next slide. So I want to invite you to join a virtual tour of SEAS. You can see the website at the bottom of the page. Anytime you go to our website, graduate.seas.gwu.edu, you should see how to navigate to a lot of different options, information about our programs, and this just happens to be our virtual tour. This is inside of our Science and Engineering Hall, so the building I just showed you in the last picture. This allows you to actually virtually walk through the building, to walk into the offices, to the classrooms, to the research labs, and see the facilities that you would have access to as a student. Next slide. So our MS programs, you can see the list on the screen. I won't read them all for you, but I'll just mention that the largest program we have is our computer science program. Next is probably electrical engineering, and then mechanical and aerospace engineering. We do have the regulatory biomedical engineering. That's the one program that is not an MS program. It is technically a master's in engineering, but nonetheless a master's program just with different requirements to earn the degree. Next slide. Our list of PhD programs is just slightly shorter, but that's because this is, of course, focusing on the broader categories. So, for example, computer science program. In the MS programs, we also have cybersecurity in computer science. At the PhD level, if you want to focus your research on cybersecurity, for example, you would simply do that within the computer science PhD program, typically. Next. So I want to, just quickly, I'll show you one of our professors, Dr. Lee. So Dr. Lee is in our biomedical research program, and his current project is focused on medical devices and the diagnosis of childhood asthma. I just mentioned him here because I want to point out the research news webpage that's at the bottom of the screen here. I always encourage students to browse our website, to click on a lot of the faculty profiles, click on the research projects that they're currently involved with, because when you join us as a student, these are the research projects that you also have the opportunity to get involved with. A lot of the faculty research is going for 3 or 5 years or even more. So you can really get a sense of what is going on our campus within the Science and Engineering Hall by looking through a lot of the current projects that our faculty are involved with. Next slide. This is our current student, Chenji. He is one of our current Chinese students, and just offered a quote for why he chose GWCs for his graduate study. He's one of our electrical engineering students currently. Next slide. So I want to mention also our Career Services Center. I know we had some questions earlier about career services that are provided by the campus for international students. So at GWCs, we offer the W.Amy Career Services Center. So this center is located within our engineering school and caters only to engineering students. We also have at the graduate level a very high population of international students. So I always want to reassure students that that our Career Services Center and our career advisors are very familiar with the differences in the job search for an international student, whether you're looking for jobs in the US, whether you're looking for jobs in China or elsewhere, if you're looking for OPT to stay in the US on optional practical training and get some work experience after graduation. They are working every day with students who have those same goals, and they will help you anything from finding jobs to simply making sure your resume is in the US style, the US format, helping you do mock interviews and practice what an interview might look like for the job that you're interested in. All of those services are available to you. Next slide. So this, I'll just leave this here briefly. I just want to mention that we have career guides available on our website for all of our graduate engineering programs. And I think this information is available and accessible to anyone. You don't have to be a student at the university. This is just helpful in making sure that you understand what job outcomes the program that you're interested in might have, what research areas are available in that program. So this, for example, is from our computer science career guide, and you can see some of the employers here who have hired students from GWC's graduate programs. Next. So our admissions requirements, I won't spend too much time on this because they're very similar across universities. And of course, you can look on our website at the application process and see all of these details. I do want to mention that we do require TOEFL or IELTS, or now Duolingo is accepted currently for international students who are coming and who are applying to our programs. But I also want to mention that for the coming fall, fall 2021, we have made the decision to waive the GRE exam. So while that's normally required for all of our graduate programs, because of the difficulty currently in accessing the exam, we have waived this requirement. It will not be required for students applying for the next year of study. And we also offer an fee waiver, like my colleague mentioned. Yeah, it's fine. So the waiver you can see at the top of the screen, it's Sunrise 2020. I'm happy to provide some guidance for anyone that's working on the application process, and we will be glad to waive that fee for you. In terms of funding, so we do get a lot of questions about scholarships and funding opportunities. If you're interested in studying a master's degree, we offer merit-based scholarships. They're typically 25 to 50% tuition scholarships. There's no separate application for funding, so you will be automatically considered based on your academic history, your qualifications, your work experience, anything like that. Doctoral funding, same. There's no separate process for applying. If you apply to a PhD program, you'll be automatically considered by the faculty for admission and for the assistantships that they will have available. Next. Yeah, so that's the end of my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions that you have. I also want to mention that we do have a Chinese language website. You can see it here. It's www.gwcs.cn. We are currently working on updating that with the newest information for the next semester, but you can always go to that website if you're more comfortable reading a little bit about GW in Mandarin. Are there any questions that I can help with?
Thank you so much, Erin, for fantastic sharings. And yeah, we do got a few questions. And so first one is, could you elaborate on how scholarship works for international students specifically?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, there's no additional application that you need to submit for scholarships. So we take all of the application materials that you provided. When we review you for admission to the program, we are looking at your test scores, your prior academic work, your recommendation letters, your statement of purpose, talking about your motivation for joining the program. Those are all the same factors that we're looking at when we're looking when we are considering you for a scholarship opportunity. The only the sort of explanation that I can give, some students will ask, well, what score do I need? What grades do I need in order to receive the scholarship? And there's not a very specific answer for that. It depends. It changes every year depending on how competitive our applicants are. So if we have a lot of very strong applications that year, then the scholarship opportunities, of course, will be even more competitive that year. But we will notify you at the time when you are admitted to the program. We'll notify you, yes, you're admitted, and yes, we are able to offer you a scholarship, for example.
And like, how much would that be?
So it can be anywhere from 25 to 50% of the program cost. So I would say, depending on, let's see, depending on the cost and how many credits you're taking and some different factors, you might have a scholarship between $5,000 to $15,000 US per year.
Thank you. 我们这边 Aaron 老师有分享到，针对于 The Way 这位同学有问到说学校的这个奖学金制度是怎么样子的。刚才老师有说到，国际学生申请奖学金还是跟申请流程都是差不多的。首先你要有推荐信 recommendation letter， 你要有推荐信，要有分数，咱们的基点，包括咱们的语言成绩等等，所有来证明我们是一个比较优秀的一个 candidate。然后的话呢，在这些基础上，我们可以获得到从所有的这个学费里的25%到50%左右的这个比例，可以去获得一个相当大金额的一个奖学金。所以说，这是这所学校这个奖学金的一个工作的一个机制。So next question is a very interesting one, and the student asking for like the gender proportion, like how many male students and how many female students.
I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but if you want, you're welcome to email us and I can provide you a little bit more information. I do know that GW is actually particularly well known for having a very strong gender balance. So we have a very strong female population. I know at least at the undergraduate degree programs, I believe we have 40 to 45% female students, which is quite strong for STEM programs. I don't remember the graduate statistics, but if you're curious, please email me and I'm happy to find the answer for you.
Thank you. 老师这边也说到关于这个男女学校的男女比例问题，然后对于George Washington 来说，学校的话呢，这个 gender balance 性别的这个平衡是做得非常好的。老师这边有说到说拿本科的学生来举例子，大概有40%到45%左右的是女孩子，然后的话研究生这边没有一个准确的数字。如果有更多的这个，如果想知道这个数字是多少的话呢，欢迎去 email 我们的这个老师。email 的地址的话呢，在屏幕上面有打上，欢迎同学们去截图，然后来进行更多的询问。So that will be all for today's session. Thank you so much for sharing, Erin.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.